Technology is changing the world at a pace that we've never experienced before. And we need more people like you, like us, to lead amazing technology companies.
So we're about to interview Paola Santana. She's the founder of Social Glass and Matternet.
I feel like a futurist is like the wrong word, but she's probably like a revolutionist.
The moment you wake up until the moment you go to bed, there are so many problems to solve. But sometimes we have a lot of motion and not action. Action is when you do the one thing a day that you know you need to do. It's just one, but you're gonna do anything else. You're gonna work out, answer 14 million emails. You're gonna be so busy the whole day, but you know, you and I know that there's just one thing you should have done.
And I'm on this road trip because I'm trying to combine tech and social justice to try to uplift my community, and I'm not really sure how to do that, but you seem to have tackled really big problems, so.
And I didn't know how to do any of the things I'm doing now. So, totally accidental entrepreneur. I started being an entrepreneur without knowing the word entrepreneurship.
So can you take us back like 8 years when you like just became an entrepreneur, and like what were you doing?
Yeah, let's go all the way back. I'm from the Dominican Republic. When you are born into a poor environment, a poor country, you grow up very aware of the differences, right? Like I was born into a street, but 2 blocks behind that street, there was a slum. And I could have been born in that slum. So I was never comfortable with the asymmetry. I don't like anything that should be one way and it isn't because of laziness, because of corruption, because of someone made a poor decision. I don't like it for me and I don't like it for anybody. So I was thinking, maybe I should be a politician, and I decided to do law school. I won a Fulbright scholarship after graduating, and I went to Washington, D.C. to study politics and law. And what I discovered in D.C. is that like politicians there had more expensive suits, the buildings were more majestic, but it was the same conversation. It was the same conversation I was hearing in the Dominican Republic. And since I was born until now, nothing has changed in my country dramatically. I was totally discouraged. So it's 2011 and I'm thinking, if politics is not the system to create change, which system is? That was when the breakthrough came in. I remember going back to the Dominican Republic and seeing more and more fruit vendors with the latest cell phones. And I was like, what's happening here? They are supposed to not have money to afford anything else, but they have cell phones and they have internet packages. So I realized that technology is changing the world at a pace that we've never experienced before. And you don't need to run for office to run a technology company. But the people leading these tech companies that are running the world, they probably don't have the incentives that I have to expand social wellness.
Can you talk about your journey from that realization to your first tech company?
Yeah. So I did my first company, that is a drone delivery company. Matternet means Internet of Matter. What we were trying to solve were lack of infrastructure problems. This is a problem that 1 billion people in the world have. They're disconnected. That means that if you're a pregnant woman, you're not gonna get vaccines. If you are a farmer, you're not gonna be able to put your small production into the nearest local market. That means that you cannot create a sustainable way out of poverty. And this is how Matternet got started. It was the early days of drone delivery. So talking about drone delivery was like, what are you guys talking? And why are you talking about that? If you're from the Dominican Republic and you are naive and you're a lawyer and you know nothing about tech, so why don't you just go back home and leave us, the big guys, to know what drone technology can do? That was the feeling I got. That's where the whole impostor syndrome comes in.
How did you deal with imposter syndrome during that time? And like, how do you know like you're in the right spot?
The thing with imposter syndrome is that it doesn't allow you to embrace who you are. I felt that I didn't deserve to be talking about a technology that I didn't know how it worked, but the rest of the world didn't know how it worked neither. Because that's what pioneers do. You create something for the first time, you create a path. Nobody has done it before. It requires guts, and it's important to remember why we're doing the things we're doing. Every year was another milestone. Little by little, sell one pilot project, go to Dominican Republic, Haiti, Bhutan, Papua New Guinea, work with Doctors Without Borders, and then a couple of months ago, we got invested by Boeing. So with Matternet, I was doing what I was hoping that politics would do. And suddenly, what they are thinking about doing, what they are discussing in Congress, I was able to build a system, and I went and did it. It's like you thought you were doing drones with your first company, but with your first company, you were not doing drones. You were doing politics.
So you seem to be really in love with like Matternet, but like you're now working on Social Glass. Just like, can you take us through that transition?
So the elections happened. And then I believe, as an immigrant, that the American values that brought me here were challenged. So I felt the urgency. So what Social Glass is doing is creating a software ecosystem to basically try to transform governments and help them run efficiently. So that's what I'm doing now.
I don't really have a question. I just have something to say.
Yeah.
Like, is that all right?
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all have a question.
No, go for it. Let it all out.
Wanted to thank you for just clarifying your intersection with technology and government, because that's something that I've been thinking about, but I don't respect what technology companies are doing. Like, they have come to control us in ways that I don't care for. And that's why I was like, oh, maybe I need to move to the government.
That's where I was. It's just that I started in the opposite side. The only difference is that technology has an advantage over politics. It's like politics was the system of the past, and technology is the system of today. And the question is, who's leading these technology companies? Because these technology companies today are the ones running the world. So I learned that I didn't have to ask for permission to create the change that I wanted to see in the world. Which, great breakthrough, but it comes with a responsibility that the future that I want to see in the world is up to me if I create it. We need more people like you, like us, to lead amazing technology companies. So we have different point of views, so we can balance each other out. I cannot afford to have someone like you to dismiss the system of today. You need to not lean in, you need to jump in. If you see an opportunity, you lead it. If you see a problem, you go and fix it. It's looking at the problem and saying, I'm not just gonna contribute, I'm gonna lead this thing in technology, because that's the system of change of today.
Thank you. Okay.
Commit. Commit to something. Commit to something today, this year, and then let's talk in 10 years. And tell me, after this road trip, you committed to something, and then tell me, look, Paola, 10 years later, can you believe it? We were just talking in your living room with no shoes. And I committed with this thing, and look what we got. Look how many lives we've changed. Look who I've become. That would be powerful. Commit.
Thanks for watching. There's more where that came from. Subscribe for more videos from Road Trip Nation. And thank you, AT&T, for fueling this road trip.